Thank you, boys and girls, for your golden time.
谢谢假斗奇缘为我们带来青春这支舞蹈，这支舞蹈也象征着佛教活动永远生生不息的办下去。让我们这。
올라오세요.
that you have enjoyed this evening's presentation. Have you? Show by a round of applause. Thank you.
谢谢大家。今天呢，我们的这个文化节目之夜呢，已告一段落。谢谢大家今天的热烈支持与参与，谢谢。
So with this, we wish you good night and sleep well.
大家晚安，谢谢。
For those who are taking the bus back to Kuala Lumpur and Subang Jaya, we have the last calling now. The bus is about to leave for Subang Jaya.
Please cut off the music, please.
Yes, would Damacharini Janasuri please come to the front? We have a few changes to the program. Unfortunately, our first speaker, Ludmila, who would speak on Buddhist women of Bulgaria, could not be with us this morning. Many people wish to be with us this morning, but were unable to make it because of distance, cost, and other reasons. But we keep them in our hearts and hope that they can come to the next conference. Our first speakers, one of our first speakers is not here yet, so we'll have to wait until she arrives. The second item on the program is Wanita Buddhist Indonesia, the Indonesian Buddhist Women's Fellowship. On your program, it says that Metasuri Chittadi would be presenting, but in fact, it will be Sylvia Rimba. Sylvia studied business administration in Cologne, Germany, and she's worked as a lecturer in a Swiss-German expose on Buddhism, starting since 2003. So she will be presenting on Wisma Buddhist. This is the first time that we have had Buddhist women of Indonesia at a Sakidita conference. So we're delighted. There are many historical things going on here. Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning, venerable guests and honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, our president, Mrs. Metasuri Chitradi, should stand here, but this is just a matter of delegation of duty, so I'm now sitting here in front of you. In a few minutes to come, I'm going to tell you a little bit what we have done and what we are going to do in Indonesia. So my organization, the name is Indonesian Buddhist Women Fellowship. Okay, I'm going to start now my presentation. Okay, I just give the topic opportunities and challenges. I'm going to start with the history of our organization. This organization is established actually quite long ago on 14th of July 1973, and we have with us here among us actually one of our founder member, Mr. Sukta Darmi. He is sitting among you here. And then after having done work, so let's say approximately 30 years, we found out that we have to do a consolidation. So that's why in year 2003, we do a little bit reorganization. And after that, Mrs. Metasuri Chitradi has been elected as the president. Mrs. Metasuri Chitradi is also sitting among us here. Currently, officially, we are present in 11 provinces. I just mentioned here officially because actually Buddhist woman is everywhere, but we have done the, how do you call it, real organization in province by province. That after they have to go to the lower level until they reach the vihara level, the temple level. And we have also 3 members of the provinces here as here representative. Okay, I'm going to tell you now a little bit about our vision and mission. This mission is actually our value of our organization, and the vision is actually our short-term goal. Let's say for 3 to 5 years to come, okay? So this English version of our vision and mission is a little bit, I don't know, we have to look, how you call it, further, because this is just, we have discussed, let's say, half year about this vision and mission. Maybe still some changes has to be done in the few months to come. Okay, our mission is to gather, improve, and accelerate potential of Buddhist women who have the insight and act in the path of Buddha Dharma through self-transformation and social transformation by the value of inclusiveness, pluralism, universalism, and non-sectarian within the faith to Dharmakaya, or we call it in Indonesia Adi Buddha. Okay, in our mission actually we put a lot of stress on self-transformation and social transformation, because just through self-transformation you can achieve the social transformation. And then we put also a very big importance on the word of universalism and non-sectarian, because our organization is under Majelis Budayana Indonesia. This is where this is an non-sectarian organization. And then I come to my vision, to our vision. This is, right now we just give a limit until 2008. This is to be one of the biggest, okay, this is quite, okay, biggest and most active Buddhist women organization has to be very active actually, because we have seen that the past 30 years we have done but a little bit here and there and not well organized. So in terms of management system, okay, if you don't have management system you can do nothing right now. And then area coverage, because Indonesia is a very big country. From west to east is more than 5,000 kilometers. And then in the term of members and activities, also we put stress here on activities, through dedicated and honored activists while maintaining women's dignity. We put also a word here, women's dignity, because we are, if we talk about women here in our organization, we are not talking, we are talking about empowerment, but we are not talking about emancipation. Okay. And this is the organization structure, where we are here within the Sangha and the lay followers organization. Okay, I put here, we are under Indonesian Mahasangha. This is the old terminology, but we are now actually go out with Sangha Agung Indonesia. And then on the Upasaka or lay follower level, we have what we call here Majelis Budayana Indonesia, or Budayana Indonesian Council. This organization is having a division, this blue box division, that means in charge for administration, in charge for the business, earning the money, and in charge for research and development, a lot of the division, and sub-organization in each and every province in Indonesia. But as I mentioned before, while the women organization is present in 11 provinces, this Budayana Council is now present in over than 20 provinces. And then below this Budayana Council, we have also a special organization taking care for the professionals, and we have also this yellow box. Green box is for the young generation, and brown box is for the senior followers, and on the left side is the, we are here, this is the Wanita Buddhist Indonesia. Among these 4 organizations, yellow, green, brown, and the Wanita Buddhist, we are the oldest one actually. This is the organization of Wanita Buddhist Indonesia. We have a Secretary General, and then we have, once again, management and organization taking care for the management side. And then we have a section which is taking care of the social and art and culture, and then education and communication and business. I'm in charge for the education and communication. I put here in red dotted lines. This is actually whatever you touch when we are here doing our job in each of every box actually is, we have to touch the issue of education. So that's why I put it here in the lowest box, empowering women through education, because this is what we are now stressing as our program. So I just want to give you a little bit about the here positioning of the Indonesian women. We are very bad in terms of gender-related index, because we are sitting on the rank 91 among 141 countries, while Malaysia is very, very good, 51. This is, if you rank it based on education, health, and economic. And then this is everywhere you face the gender inequality. I think I don't have to tell much about that, because everybody is aware of that. But for us, this is an issue that we have to take it in our program. So, and as I mentioned before, we see it as the education is the root of every problems related to women. So, what we aim at is actually empowering for lay women, because this is a lay woman organization. So we are going to do it in the term of, in the field of formal or and informal education, which is here touching the spiritual, health, economic, and gender issue. Once again, as I told you at the beginning of my presentation, we put a very big value on the self-transformation and social transformation issue. And then secondly, we put also here our stress on the children education. This is, we haven't done much on this field actually. The idea is implementing the educare, not education. Yeah? Because we will focus on the character building. This is just our aim now. We haven't done much on this year. Okay, we involved already in education, but this is not the one that we are going to involve in, okay? So, because once again, transforming children is, we will get future great leader, okay? So we have put everything what we are going to do in 4 pillars, the education. This is a lot of terminology out there. This is more scientifically, how you call it, organized, formal education, non-formal education, informal education. What we do temporarily is more on the informal education. We do retreat, and then we are going to do to give the family guidance issue. This is about sex education, premarital course, parenting, and counseling. I just here purposely leave the system and management blank, because this is actually what we do internally. And then we have also, as one of our pillars, social engaged Buddhism. I put in red social welfare. This is what we have done everywhere as Buddhist women. And then the second one is social change through seminar. We are going to achieve that. And then economic development, women has to be also involved in businesses in the Buddhist term. And then art and culture. And then the propagation side, we have services everywhere. I just want to quote here to you here that it is said to us as we are here establishing the organization that women are the pillars of vihara, that means temple. Everywhere they are present, but what they did is never been recognized. Okay, and then the other issue is spreading the Dharma, becoming Dharma Duta, Pandita, women Dharma Duta and women Pandita. Now our Sangha has established a training center where we can send then women to become, to learn about Dharma Duta and becoming then also Dharma Duta and Pandita. Okay, what is going on now? We have done few seminars For this year, we just take one topic. This is socialization of law on abolishing of violence within the family. Okay, because this is a very big issue. Everywhere if we meet the women, they have almost all this problem within the family. And then coming soon, pre-marital course, we have already the material for that will come, let's say, in 2 or 3 months to come. This is also very important in our opinion. Okay, this is number 3 is the very, very crucial issue, because this is a lot of things to be done, but we don't know where to put the priority. So, and then developing concept and models, so that if we have the concept and the models, and then we can just transfer it to the area level by level. And then the other issue is looking for volunteer and defining the pilot project. Okay, if I'm talking about Buddhism in Indonesia, we are actually talking only around 2 million out of 240 million population of Indonesia. This is the composition. I just take it from an internet, but this is approximately the figure: 70% Mahayana, 20% Theravada, and 10% others. Okay, if you look at the slide, there is a temple.
Finish your sentence.
Yeah. Okay. What we expect actually from this conference actually that we aim at international network so that we can learn, share, and care. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. It's wonderful. We'll be learning about many different cultures this morning, not only Buddhist cultures. Right now we have a very special presentation. As you know, the theme of our conference is Buddhist Women in a Global Multicultural Community. And all of us interact with different faiths and different cultures every day. In fact, some of us embody more than one faith and more than one culture. So I would like to invite Sister Malia Dominica Wong, who is a Dominican nun, Christian nun, who is going to share with us a special Hawaiian blessing for the place, to invite all of the enlightened ones to bless our conference. Mention that we're also representing quite a few endangered cultures at our conference, and Hawaiian culture is one of them, which has been reviving, like Buddhism in Indonesia, has been reviving in decades. cultures. And we're also going to be hearing from other endangered Buddhist cultures in the panel this morning. Now, our next presenter represents a group that has not been given the attention it deserves. Although we have had women from the Indian Buddhist community at all of our Sakyadhita conferences. Our next speakers are going to tell us about a little-known community. The Dalit people of central India are Buddhists who were originally considered untouchables under the Hindu caste system. And since 1956, almost 10 million of them have become Buddhists. Yes, it's an amazing phenomenon. Unfortunately, they lack resources and teachers, and apart from the efforts of a few Thai monks who went and had serious language difficulties, it's mostly been the Friends of the Western Buddhist Order who have been helping these people. Mike to Dhammacharini Janasuri and her friend Dhammacharini Karunamaya, who will tell you more about this community.
Venerable Bhikkhus, Bhikkhunis, and my dear friends. Before I proceed, let me first introduce myself to you. I am Dhammacharini Jnaneshwari, and it gives me immense pleasure to be here in front of you today. On the 1st of July 1942, I born in very poor and untouchable family in Nagpur city. Nowadays, Nagpur city is very famous because of Dr. Ambedkar had great conversion in the city. I come from untouchable family, and life of those days, these untouchables worse than animals. They do not have any rights, living as a human being. Upper caste Hindu people we cannot touch them, and we cannot touch their shadows also. We do not have any rights, and we restricted from education, trade, and finance. We could not hold money and any land. We live that time outside of the city or outside of the village, and we can't touch the water also. That untouchables should only serve them and eat only what is left by them in their plates. Such a miserable life was this untouchables. This was the community that Dr. Ambedkar took birth. He faced great struggle, but he completed his education. Even though being highly qualified, he had to face many ill treatment by the upper caste, and there where he began his social activities. He was one who told them, we are the human and we also want the human rights. My fortune, my father was involved in that social activities. So from a young age, I learned how to do the social work. my childhood, I had also faced this prejudice and its results. In the school, upper class teachers were always partial and prejudiced. Even at that age, I affected by teachers' torture. For my poor condition and my torn clothes, they used to make fun of me. Though I was good in study, but never appreciated, but pressed down. By the period, conversion activities were speeding up. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar decided to leave behind this inequality of Hinduism and get converted to Buddhism. But none was knowing what is Buddhism. But one thing that time was so sure, in Buddhism there is equality. And after conversion in Buddhism, we will be equally seen. It was my great fortune to be the part of that historical event of the conversion on 14th of October 1956 in Nagpur city. Even today, after 50 years, I remember that events as it is. Under U. Chandramani, Dr. Ambedkar converted in Buddha Dhamma, and after that, he himself guided that huge mass to the conversion to Buddha Dhamma. Even after conversion to Buddha Dhamma, where we have equally to all, Hindus still treated us with their same old perception. At that time, I must be 13-year-old. We still had to face the ill treatment in school from the teachers. We are living in Nagpur city in slum area. And there I used to teach the illiterate and poor people how to say Trisharan and Panchashil, refuges and precepts. And I tried to explain them their meaning also at that small age. Only after 6 weeks, Dr. Ambedkar passed away. This was big shock of his followers. And the entire mass, as now, there was no one to guide them how to follow the Buddha Dhamma. Though for guidance, he written Buddha and his Dhamma. And he had also given us 22 vows during the Dhamma conversion. Even then, this community was without guidance. And so, Hinduism much followed than Buddhism. And this was the time when Bhante Sangharakshita from UK, he founded Friends of the Western Buddhist Order, and we called in India Trailokya Bauddha Mahasangha. He started his work for this new Buddhist people. While being in Aurangabad, where I live, in 1982, I got the opportunity to be in one such retreat. Meditation and Dhamma study were major focus of the retreats. There again, I believe this is the Sangha we can get proper guidance about how to practice the Buddhism. From then, I continued to practice Buddhism. In 1987, I became Dhammacharani, means I became order member of this Sangha, FWBO, Friends of the Western Buddhist Order. And since then, I engaged regularly in making women aware of Dhamma. It wasn't so easy. I had to be aware of my responsibilities about my family and while I am engaged in this service. But I was lucky, my family always support me for this work. On the other side, it was more difficult for other women to come to the retreats because of Indian culture, men dominating society, and this point, how the women would come to the retreats and how can they take decision to come to the retreat. Because they always dependent on her husband. She always dependent on her husband. But today, many women take part in Dhamma retreats and other activities of Dhamma. They try to spread Dhamma on their own way. Many ladies are now coming forward and becoming Dhammacharani and helping their Dhamma sisters for uplifting. Still less compared men. But numbers are slowly growing. Today, separate female retreats and classes also conducted. Today, many women are being benefited by the courses and communication. Ladies can help each other.
Thank you very much. I know this is brutal, but we're trying to keep to the time. But since we have two presenters, we'd like to give Dhammacharani Janasuri a couple of minutes to show the photos of people of this community. And we will be having the papers. If someone could please run down to the Secretariat and get the papers so people can follow along, that would be very helpful. Thank you. May we have a mic, please?
15 minutes went incredibly quickly. If I was going to say one or two words while I gave this slide presentation, there's obviously not time for that. If you would like to know more, please see our leaflets which are downstairs. Both the social activities conducted by TBMSG in India and the Buddha Dharma activities. So, yes, I think I just have to go very quickly through the slides. Dr. Ambedkar, great inspirer to the people there, particularly had an awareness of the plight of women. The conditions under which many people live in India, and their caste duty meant that they had to do the most menial and degrading work. That was rag picker. This is still modern India. Child labour. Recently, based on 27 years of work in India, we have started a new women's trust to especially deal with the problems faced by Indian women. It's called the Aryatara Mahila Trust. And we're continuing the work of this 27 years of activity there. medical work, a doctor visiting in the slums, educational work. A big part is hostels for children who otherwise would be deprived of education. Especially the girls often have to work rather than have an opportunity to get education. And kindergarten, preschool education. Adult literacy. And then, very important, to create some sort of livelihood. This is the bad situation, the rag pickers, the brick kilns, child labour. This is a project to help women and children from the slums, computer education. Sewing classes to give people some sort of skills to have some form of livelihood. And cultural programs, often trying to communicate a message. And with our Dharma activities. At present, we're using 2 retreat centres, this one near the historical caves of Baja, Buddhist caves. Women's retreats. Our friend on retreat, Yanashiri. And well, currently we're in the process of trying to raise funds to start our own women's retreat centre. But more information in our leaflets. Thank you for your time.
Recent archaeological evidence is showing that this community may be the oldest Buddhist community in the world, that they continued to be Buddhists all those centuries and did not accept the Hindu caste system. That's why they were placed on the bottom. So I hope part of our work of Sakadita is to information to encourage people in the more advantaged countries, the more prosperous countries, to share with Buddhists who do not enjoy sometimes even the very basics of nutrition and healthcare and education. So thank you very much for your presentation. We also know that Buddhism is a tolerant faith, and when Buddhism spread to new lands, it did not immediately kick out the earlier religious traditions, but often absorbed certain elements of them. Our next speaker from Korea will be talking about Buddhism shamanism and women in Korean history. I'd like to present Ms. Jong-hee Kim.
Thank you for hospitality of Malaysian community of Sakadita and sharing my thoughts with you. I will read my summarized paper in chapter 1 preface. The sustainability of the earth and humankind is at the confront of today's most talked about topics. There is a growing awareness of the need to reform modern life across the political, economical, social, and ideological spectrum. Exploration of our present ecological world constitutes the first subject in our search for an alternative, sustainable world. In Korea, Buddhism is the religion with the largest number of followers, and a majority of these are women. In Asia, ecofeminism cannot be fully grasped without understanding the relationship between Buddhism and women. Throughout history, what Korean Buddhist women knew was not the Buddhist philosophy of life. Rather, they had a grassroots comprehension of a religion that was heavily influenced by shamanism and traditional thought. Korea received the Buddhist sutras written in Chinese characters in the 1st century and produced only a handful of Buddhist sutras in Korean language. Beginning in the 15th century, the teaching of Buddha in the sutra became widespread in the 1980s when most of the important sutras were translated into Korean and made available to Korean readers. Before their translation into Korean, the Chinese language sutras were not understood by anyone other than Buddhist priests studying under their master or Buddhist scholars. Buddhists at the time could learn the essence of Buddhism only through the teaching of senior monks. This paper focuses on Buddhism in the past, Buddhism today, and the influence of both on Korean women. It addresses the following issues. First, the mixture of Buddhism and shamanism found in shamanistic narratives. Second, Korean women's encounter with the philosophy of Buddhism. And third, the significance of the shamanistic narratives heavily mixed with Buddhism. This paper does not view the narratives as petrified historical relics due to the historical oblivion. Rather, it suggests that the narratives are a treasure trove of cultural texts that can enrich Korean and Buddhist culture. Chapter 2, the coexistence of Korean shamanism and Buddhism and the new transition. The Buddhism that Korean commoners accepted throughout history was not Buddhism transmitted, not the sutras. The sutras in Chinese characters were meaningful only to a minority of elite high priests. The people partly observed priest beliefs in the context of native or shamanistic traditions faithfully passed down from generation to generation rather than accepting Buddhism as a new religion. In Korea, this compromise between shamanism and Buddhism is observed in two aspects. First, the shamanism appropriated Buddhist content, and second, Buddhism incorporated shamanistic beliefs and practices. Buddhism, once observed into shamanism, gained a new life more as an indigenous faith than as a form of Orthodox Buddhism. In this case, aspects of Buddhism were borrowed merely as a means to enrich the native faith. Meanwhile, instances of Buddhism's acceptance of indigenous faiths and rituals have no bearing on Buddhist philosophy. This is obvious from the fact that Korean Buddhist temples have local or grassroots sharings called Samsonga, three God-goddess sharing. Beliefs in Samsung was generated as a hybrid form of local religion and Buddhism after the latter was introduced to Korea. The sharing is usually located behind the temple and holds sacred image of God-goddesses and an altar portrait of Buddha. In Samsonga, there are three local God-goddesses of shamanism or Buddhism: the mountain God-goddess, Doksong, and the Chilseong-shin. All the temples in Korea all have one among these: Samsonga, Samshinga, Doksonga, or Chilseonga. Recently, constructed temples have tended not to include such sharing. This can be explained by the fact that people in Buddhist circles feel ashamed about having a shamanist sharing at the site of a Buddhist temple, but many women still hold to their faith in the God-goddess of Samsonga, believing that their prayers to the deities there will be realized. By contrast, good Korean exorcism, good narratives provide an example of local shamanism's acceptance of Buddhism rather than Buddhism's acceptance of native faith. The good has been a religious ritual of grassroots local communities who perform them in order to expel harm or resentment from the local community. Such processes exist long before the transmission of Buddhism to Korea. Han has been the emotion and the culture of grassroots. The good exorcism removes the people's suffering, ridding them of a feeling of aggressive revenge or chagrin. In this respect, Han is similar to the Buddhist concept of compassion, which is one of the four pure practices. It is important to note the incorporation of Buddhist beliefs into good narratives. For example, in the Samsung Halmang exorcism, grassroots women explain the origin and the history of Samshin and tell the story of Myeong Jin-guk's daughter, who was born between the Tathagata, her father, and Sakamuni, her mother. The Supreme Being, the highest of the heavenly God of Taoism, royally christens the baby as Sengbul Wang. The Korean word Samshin is comprised of two elements: Sam, meaning a placenta, which envelops the fetus in utero, and Shin, meaning God, goddess. Like the word deity in English, Shin has no gender and may refer to either a god or goddess. In fact, Shin denotes both god and goddess. Accordingly, Samshin is the god, goddess